let's talk about your journey from start to where you're at now in terms of due diligence, in terms of learning. What do you think was the hardest part for you to get to the stage where you bought your first online business? That and I'm sure it's probably similar to where most people, get almost tripped up or struggle as well. But yeah, what do you
Yeah.
find are some of the hard things about it? Because we've got to be realistic here. It's not like, yeah, it's just go buy. Like you said, you wish it was easy as just going to the store and buying a business, but it's it takes some work.
Yeah. Um, I often compare it to real estate. And when I was buying real estate, I was working with a realtor, and I felt like we were on the same team, same page in that. And I think I came into this process thinking the brokerage site was like my realtor, that I know, that I trust. And I work with a great brokerage site. I mean, there's no shade on the brokerage site I work with, but I remember when I was plugging in my copy paste into the due diligence framework, and you were like, don't use the graph that the brokerage site gave you. And that kind of blew my mind. I was like, well, should be accurate information. And I totally understand going to Google Analytics now, but their goal there is to sell the site. So I think that was good for me to kind of take a step back and be like, who are the players here? You have the seller, you have the brokerage site, you have me. So that was something to learn. But then also just that due diligence in general, kind of getting in the mindset of like, I have to churn these out. My personality is not typically like nose to the grindstone. Like I want to discipline, do this every day. Like I'm kind of more big picture, like moving other parts and delegating. But especially in this case, it's my wife and I, but it's mostly just me working on this business. So there's no one to delegate to at the moment. It wouldn't be very wise of me to go delegate my due diligence frameworks. I thought about it. I was like, who can I hire to do these due diligence frameworks? That was a thought that came through my mind. But then I was like, that probably wouldn't be good for my own growth in buying businesses if I'm going to outsource this at this point in my career.
Such an amazing point. Because people want everything with minimal amount of work, and then they buy, like you could go get a DD service done. And I've thought about just creating a DD service for people, but I've always had the philosophy of feed a man to fish rather than give a man to fish.
Yeah.
And could you imagine if you did hire somebody to do DD and you didn't look at any businesses, you didn't do DD on any businesses, and they bought you one and they go, here you go. Like how much more anxious would you be? Or like, how do you feel like the progress of your asset would go with that?
Well, if you're doing this appropriately, then this is big boy money we're talking about. Like if we were buying age domains that we were going to build off of, then you're talking at like a manageable kind of amount. But like, I feel like jumping in the deep end with this, not that we're throwing all of our money at it, every asset we have at it, but it's a significant amount. Like for me personally, when I look at my net worth and I think about how much we invested in this business, it's significant.
Yeah.
So it's daunting. But at the same time, I'm thankful for the frustration of learning a new skill. It's harder to learn new skills as you get older.